Hello and welcome to A Cup of Grace and Lori podcast. I'm Grace.
And I'm Lori. And today we're going to be talking about do we need darkness in our lives? And yeah, this occurred to me the other day, this whole subject. And so I'm just going to spring into it. Okay, I was reflecting. I've been doing a lot of reflecting, being introspective over the past several months as I feel, I'm embracing and my authentic self.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to say my new self because it's really, removing some of the layers and some of the baggage and whatever and revealing my authentic self. So
That's right.
as I've been doing that, I've been getting insights, and this struck me the other day. That I'll go into the why this occurred to me. I've mentioned that I lost. It's now at least 50 or 55 pounds, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, over the past year, I stopped losing weight. I stopped losing weight several months ago on purpose because I don't want to lose any more weight. But anyway, it was about 55 pounds, whatever. But I don't think I've ever mentioned this to you, Grace, the real reason why, the motivating factor. And I mean, I have talked about the tenant that we had living upstairs and how we found it very difficult to live with her. But this is really she was really the motivating factor. And I'll tell you why. When the landlord first brought her to tour the property, they were outside in the backyard, and I heard her speaking, and I thought, oh no, not her, do not rent to her. I just heard her speaking briefly for a couple sentences, but her personality struck me as very aggressive, assertive, I know everything type of thing, that type. And I was thinking, trying to, be telepathic with my landlord. Don't rent to her. This is not going to be a good situation. Like, I don't like her personality, right? But what that really was a fear within me. And at the time I weighed, 55 pounds more. I was overweight, and I was trying to lose weight, or at least I thought I was trying, and it didn't seem to be coming off, whatever. But I was worried and afraid that type of personality would be very judgmental of me in the state that I was in. And I thought, oh no, not her. She's not an accepting type. She's not a compassionate type. She's just like, this is the way it is, and this is the way I want it, blah, blah, blah. So when he told us that he had rented to her, I was really, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be, we're going to be living in close proximity with her. And how is she going to judge me is really that was my fear, right? But what that made me do was I kind of went into a fear or panic mode, and I was like, okay, how can I lose weight? And it was weird because I thought I had been trying for the past several months to lose weight, and it didn't seem to be happening. But all of a sudden it was like, okay, what can I do? And I was like, okay, I'm going to cut out this from my diet. I'm going to cut out that from my diet. And I was able to do that because before, when I tried to make changes to my diet, I couldn't sleep properly, it really was disruptive to my system. And that's why I didn't. But this time, when I driven by fear of being judged, I was able to cut out things from my diet that, you know, maybe you would call them uh, too much fat in my diet. And I started losing weight like within the month. The first month that she was there, I lost about 5 pounds, and it was over Christmas even, which normally you don't lose weight over Christmas. But by January 1st, I had lost 5 pounds, which was like great for me because I had been trying for a long time and didn't seem to work. But as I said, I did make modifications to my diet out of fear. And this time it worked. And I wasn't having trouble sleeping. You know, I was actually starting to feel better. And every month I would lose approximately 5 pounds from then on, um, until I got to this weight. And it was all because of her personality. I was able to lose weight, a lot of weight, and it just kept coming off. As I found that I had more energy, I was walking more for sure, because I felt like walking more, right? But I wasn't like hitting the gym 3 times a week or anything like that. But as I said, I had definitely modified not drastically. Well, yeah, I did reduce my calorie intake, but this time it worked. And it was because
Okay.
of her. It was because of her. That was the motivation. That was the motive.
Okay.
Provided the motivation. So I'm saying, had she not moved in, and let's say there had been someone who was very pleasant, non-judgmental, like you know, that wouldn't say something or just be rude or inconsiderate or whatever, then I might still be in the same physical and mental state that I was in, you know, before she moved in.
Was she rude to you? Was she
Oh
rude
yeah.
to you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Very abrasive. Let's just say abrasive. Abrasive.
But okay, but she was like that to when she was around your landlord, right? Even before you met her. That is
Mm-hmm.
how, because you were judging her, right? You were judging
Well,
her before,
you
based
know, in the
on
sense,
you.
yeah, no, in the sense that I was trying to get an impression of her, and I did get an impression of her. I mean, I got an impression of her. You can get an impression of someone within a minute, you know, just by the tone of their
Yes,
voice, right? And I did.
yes.
So I got an impression of her very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah,
But okay, so I'm playing devil's advocate here, as
yeah,
I like to
yeah.
do. That's just a single facet of her. That's not her entirely, right?
No, but that's the way she interacts with him.
Okay.
That's her.
Okay.
Of
That's how
course.
she was with her. Or
Uh-huh.
so that's how she was with him.
Mm-hmm.
Was your landlord also overweight?
No,
Okay.
no.
But so do you feel like she was uh being judgmental towards him just for no apparent reason?
Uh, it was the no, it wasn't the judgmental towards him. It was just the over assuredness, the kind of verging on cocky, if you know what I mean.
So the interactions that you had with her,
Those,
did
yeah,
you ever feel as though, like, did she make any snide comments about your body, your weight?
no, no.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And did she get kinder as
Oh
you lost
no,
weight?
no, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
We're, if anything, worse.
And okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, because you were
Mhm.
saying that the motivating factor was fear of her judgment, fear of her judging you based on your weight,
Right, right.
but it didn't change. Her treatment of you didn't change regardless of your size.
True,
Mhm.
true.
So your mind, whatever, that voice in your
Hmm.
head,
Hmm.
it just made up that story.
I guess it did.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Uh, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to kind of separate. I mean, I can't say for sure what her perception was based on. I don't know that. because I'm not in
Exactly.
her
We can
head.
never know.
I don't
Yeah,
know that. Yeah.
that's right.
But my point is, it doesn't really matter. The point was, for me, that's how I perceived it. And right,
Yes.
whether she thought that way or not, that's how I perceived it.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it scared me enough to make this drastic change that actually worked this time. So anyway, so that darkness that arrived on our doorstep was really, I'd almost say, a godsend to me, which I can't believe I'm saying that. Um, I can't believe I'm saying that, but it changed, she changed my life so much for the better, which is really, I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true, because had she not moved in, I don't know that I don't think I would have made these changes unless something else had happened that scared me, right? Maybe
So you're
something else.
saying that it's only fear that may have that would have catapulted you into
Yes, yes, yeah,
Okay, so is that why so that's how you came about this topic for today? Do we need darkness in our lives?
yeah. Do we need darkness in our lives to grow or to change?
And so
Um,
I guess your argument is that
we might need it.
well, you've heard the term hitting rock bottom.
Hmm.
A lot of people do need to hit rock bottom
Hmm.
before
Hmm. Hmm. I
make a
have
change.
another instance, because I thought, okay, is this an isolated instance? And I guess I would say no. I do have, and I'll just go briefly into this one. After I graduated from university, I accepted a contract at an organization working in the communications field. And I only lasted there about, I think, 8 months before I went on stress leave, because it just, suffice it to say, the organization was highly dysfunctional. And I did try to, function there, but I couldn't. And it started to affect my body, right? So I went on stress leave, and then very shortly after, I just resigned. Um, and that was a terrible 8 months, very, very stressful 8 months. But from that experience, I realized that couldn't I couldn't work a 9 to 5 job anymore. And I decided to start my own blog, which I still have running. And that
Mm-hmm.
was, so I think 11 years ago. So a whole new world opened up for me through that experience, through that dark experience. And I would say, that was a dark experience for me. I was very unhappy there, and it just affected my whole physical and mental being, So, but because of that, and it showed me, okay, you don't, it showed me the contrast. You do not want this, right? This is what you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was able to find out what I did want. So that was
Mm-hmm.
another case where I think I needed that darkness to point me, to get me on track to
Mm-hmm.
where I wanted to go. I wish I didn't need these dark people and experiences to get me on track. And I hope now that I feel much more on track with my life. I feel more authentic. Even speaking now, I'm speaking from the heart. I feel authentic now, more than I've ever been. And I'm hoping that, okay, maybe I won't need such dark experiences to get me, swerve me back on track. Maybe I will need a little bit of darkness here and there, but I might not need so much, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel I'm on the right track. And
Mm-hmm.
And I'm conscious of making decisions that keep me on this track, keeping it real for me, So we'll see. I hope, I kind of hope I don't, but as I said, it one of they were both good for me. Those very bad experiences were good for me in the long run.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I guess I don't want to say, oh, I don't want any more of that. I mean, on one hand, I don't, because it was tough, very tough living through it. But on the other hand, it's got me here. And, I'm excited about my life now. When I wake up in the morning, I'm just happy to be, what's going to happen today,
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and I feel good. So if I guess that's what it took. And it's
Yeah.
here, and Grace, I'll say one thing. It's very easy for me to say this now, but had you asked me that while I was going through it, I don't know what I would have said. I mean, I'm sure I would have been swearing or cursing, just angry and the whole, and I think you
In the
probably,
victim mentality.
yeah. So it's easy, as I said, looking back, to be able to say, oh yeah, I know that was horrible, but it was good for me. I never would have been able to say this while going through it, right?
Mhm.
Because it was this
Mhm.
very, turning my world upside down, whatever. So can you
I think
relate
that's
to any of
a
that? Can you relate?
absolutely. I think we
Yeah.
can all relate to it because yeah,
Hmm.
we do need contrast.
Yeah.
I mean, we need balance, and we need the shadow side as well as the light,
Yeah.
right?
The shadow
The
side shows us what we don't want.
Yeah, I mean, I think we like to use the word contrast a lot.
Okay.
Lately, I mean, it's even Abraham Hicks, right? They
Yeah.
talk about contrast a lot. That's
Yeah.
how we figure out sometimes what
Right.
our preferences are, what our tastes are, and such. What's good for
Right.
us, what is not good for us, what makes us
Right.
feel good, what does not feel good.
Right.
We need that.
Right.
And I think that, yeah, the fact that you're now kind of removed from those negative situations, you're
Hmm.
reflecting back, you've learned the lessons,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's wisdom that you're extracting from those experiences. So now
Hmm.
it's less from, you're not thinking with a victim mentality now.
Hmm. Hmm.
You're coming out of those negative experiences with more wisdom,
Right.
extracting the lessons.
Hmm.
And I think you realize, okay, those, even though at the time those experiences were really, really awful,
Horrible.
and at the time you're feeling like it's happening to you, but
Yes.
then when you're all these years later, you can reflect back because you see how much you have grown, how much wisdom that you have gained. And now
Right.
you see those incidents actually happened for you. They
Yes.
happen for your growth.
Yeah.
That happens a
Yeah.
lot to a lot of us.
Yeah. But
So we do,
we don't necessarily look at it that way, right? Like we don't
especially when
necessarily,
we're embroiled in the
oh yeah. But
negative
even
situation.
sometimes
Yeah,
afterwards,
it
we
depends on, yeah, the kind of person that you are or where you are in your life journey. If
hmm
you're at the
hmm
point where, yeah, you're more self-reflective, you're more self-aware, you
hmm
want to grow and learn and
hmm
realize that, everything, so many things that happen to us, there are lessons.
hmm
There are
hmm
lessons there to help us grow. Life
hmm
is school.
hmm
We're here to learn and to, yeah, like unfold. Like you mentioned earlier on in this episode, you're becoming your more authentic self. Your
hmm
authentic self is already, you were born
hmm
uh, as your true self.
hmm
So it's mainly as we go through life, all these negative experiences and such, and hopefully we'll get to a place in our journeys where, yeah, you know what, we need to release all this baggage.
hmm
When we, like let go, release all the hurt and pain, anger, etc.,
hmm
our true selves start to emerge. The
hmm
true self that's already
hmm hmm
within us.
Yeah.
We're just kind of unfolding,
Right.
right? Like a butterfly, right? Like we
Right.
start to kind of bloom and blossom
Right.
as life progresses. Well, that's
Right.
hopefully, everyone's life path is
It's
different.
different. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So you and I are, like we want to grow, we want to learn, right? We want to keep evolving.
Right. I,
I am at a point where, yeah, like I can look at all the painful incidents, the
hmm
ones that I remember at
hmm
least. It doesn't mean that the pain goes away necessarily completely, but now I I can look at it and just try to find out, why did this happen? What was
hmm
I supposed to learn?
hmm
And it's a lot easier because, yeah, I do feel better. I'm more confident. I'm
hmm
starting to realize just how powerful I am, that I am a
Right.
powerful creator.
Right.
And then I'm looking back at all these incidents and, all these relationships, and I realize, yeah, I'm supposed to learn lessons,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though they were painful. And so I actually, yeah, I'm kind of grateful. And that's
Yes.
when you sometimes get to this point in your self-improvement journey where, yeah, you can look back on a regretful incident,
hmm
but actually feel grateful for it
Yes.
because of who you've become
Right.
and who you're, yeah.
Right. I knew that there were lessons. I always knew there were lessons, but I don't think I was ever able to be actually okay with it and say, that's okay. That not only am I okay with it, but I'm like almost happy that that happened because it's led me here. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it doesn't, it
that's
can still be painful when you think about those things, but
yeah,
yeah.
it's going, the pain is kind of going away though, I find. It's
Yeah.
dissipating, yeah,
Yeah.
which is
And
really good.
healing is a process. Healing is
Yeah,
a process. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not a one-time deal and it's just
No,
poof, it goes
no,
away. Yeah, it
no.
needs maintenance. We need
Yeah,
maintenance.
yeah. So I'm really excited about that insight that I gained, and
Oh,
because I can like move on from it and
good.
just say, okay, I see why that happened, and I see that it was actually a positive. So, and it's kind of now when I look at quote a negative, right? When
Hmm.
I'm trying to bring this philosophy now into the present. So if something doesn't go my way, I mean, and I've always looked at those as quote negatives, but I mean, that's not necessarily a negative. That could be a really good thing. It probably is. If something didn't happen the way you thought it was going to, it's source energy or the universe is trying to steer you back onto your path, onto your
Hmm.
authentic path. So
Hmm.
that's actually a good thing, right? Even though in the moment we might feel a little disenchanted or disillusioned of why something didn't go the way we thought, but the universe is trying to get you on the right path where you will be your authentic self, where you can fulfill your goals, etc. So it's a good thing.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to, you know, I'm trying to bring that attitude to present day so that, okay, I don't get, so that I don't get annoyed when or upset, or upset's maybe a strong word, but a little miffed or whatever when something I thought was going to happen didn't happen, you know?
Well, I've heard this phrase recently. Rejection is redirection.
Oh, I
Rejection
love
is
that.
is
I love
God's
that.
redirection,
I
right?
love that.
Rejection is the
I've got to write
universe's
that down.
way to
That is
redirect you.
where did you hear that?
I've heard it a number of times, so multiple sources. So it's probably a popular saying.
Oh, okay, I haven't heard it before,
Rejection
but I
is
love
actually
it.
redirection from the universe.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
universe knows
Wow.
knows better than we do,
Right.
right?
And yeah,
Yeah.
so that I love that phrase. I love that
Yeah.
sentence.
Mhm.
And that sums it up exactly.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I'm as I said, I'm trying to embrace that philosophy and just be more positive about whatever happens, because I know, I'm being guided onto my authentic path.
There you
So
go.
yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Well, we'll
very
wrap up this week's discussion, and I would love to hear your thoughts? Any of our listeners, have you had dark experiences that you can say, truly say, I'm grateful for that experience because it brought me here, or it taught me this, it led me there?
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.